Hi there, it's Vivi. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to talk about my story, how it came about, and something that I really believe in is that sometimes we just need to write the story that we want to be reading. Okay, so the thing is, in my life, I have written a lot of stories. Oh, let me show you my cat. Ooh, hi. And let me show you her tail. Crazy tail. Look at her. Oh, the amazing tail of Misha. Missy. Missy. My cat. So the thing about my writing journey is so weird because I always used to write what I read. Not like copying or anything, but if I'm in a period of reading fantasy books, I would want to write a fantasy book. Just naturally, because I'm on this wave. And I used to do that a lot. But then I realized I've always been telling love stories in my head. I don't know why. It's like a part of my brain is so love obsessed, like romance obsessed, that I'm always coming up with stories in my head. Even just like going to sleep, just thinking of love stories. When I was little, I would play with the dolls and make up long love stories, and it's so amazing, but it's always been a part of me, right? I didn't even read so much romance, not even a little bit, but growing up, I watched those telenovelas that were very romantic and like dramatic, and I don't know, I guess a part of my brain was very romance obsessed, while the other part of my brain was very sci-fi, fantasy, horror obsessed. And it doesn't sound like a good combination, but I like it. So anyway, and growing up, I was writing those fantasy stories, blah, 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 but I was never finishing them because it was about world building and details, and I'm not very detail obsessed. So I found myself writing just stories, telling stories. And the more I told stories, the more I realized that this romance part was predominant inside my brain. And I wanted to tell love stories. At some point, I just gave up and started writing romance. Oh my God, it was such a relief because I was finally telling the stories that were in my heart, that were in my head. I wasn't writing to be fancy or to tell a story that I wanted to tell. I was telling the stories that came naturally from my heart. And also I was still kind of stuck on telling stories that I supposed maybe people wanted to read, or that I liked reading, kind of thought were interesting, but still there was this disconnect between what I think I should be writing and what I want to be writing naturally. But growing up, I didn't really know what that should be or what that was. You discover yourself as you grow older, and you don't always know where you're gonna end up. So I had no idea that I would end up writing romance. And then I continued writing romance, and I enjoyed it, kind of. And I even finished some stories that I'm excited to publish one day, but I continued to discover what I liked, and I still wasn't sure what I really, really liked. You know what I mean? Like, what was the unique combination of elements that was truly me, instead of just kind of writing different stories to see what fit for size, So basically, one day, I think about a few months ago, I found it. I found the story. It sounds so dramatic, but really it was just me writing a story that was exactly everything I liked. I still can't believe how it happened. I'm not sure how it happened, but I just accidentally ended up writing something that turned into my obsession. Like, as soon as I was done writing it, I think I wrote it in 3 days. Don't judge, I'm a very fast writer. As soon as I finished writing it, and by the way, it was 85,000 words, so it wasn't even a small book. As soon as I finished writing it, I was obsessed. I was manic. I was like, this is everything I've ever loved. I started reading it and reading it and reading it and falling in love with the characters all over again and their story. And my God, I have never been so obsessed with one of my stories ever. And after that, I kind of started writing more stories like that. Not exactly like that. The characters were slightly different. The situations were very different. The plot was different. But the elements were there. You know, the elements that I'm crazy about. The psychology behind how the people were acting and relating to one another. In some cases there was trauma. In some cases there was the hurt comfort element. You know, one of the characters was inadvertently healing the other. The other elements that I like are a size difference, worlds apart, the kind of relationship where one of the characters is the caretaker and the other one is the younger, impressionable person who doesn't really know where to go, so they appreciate the guidance and the protection, obviously, and these people love each other fiercely and protect each other fiercely once they decide that they're the person for the other person. So and also I never really liked high conflict bully romance, like a lot of jealousy and drama. I always liked a slow burn, like a friends to lovers, or just they're not sure if they should be together, or they're not supposed to be together but they end up together anyway, and once they decide they're together, they're together. Like, it makes me feel good. This kind of romance makes me feel good. So I wrote it. It's an romance, male romance, gay romance, basically, written by a woman, which is a genre, believe it or not. So anyway, I started reading the genre and I started writing the genre, and I realized that this was my favorite thing. And this story happened completely accidentally, but it happened to include all of the elements that I love in a story, in a romance, in a love story. So I can't believe how it happened, but once it happened, it opened up this dam of stories after that one. That was the first one that I fell in love with, and there came another and another and another. I think about 6 or 7 stories I finished, and of course I started like 100 but that's a story for another time. And the last one I wrote a week ago, that was about music. Oh, they were singing to each other, and one was, oh my God, and I came up with this song that they sang together, and it was one of the best, the most beautiful stories that I've ever written or read ever, because I'm a big fan of music. And so I had these stories that I'd really wanted to read out in the world, but I hadn't found them. So I wrote them. And that's the thing. I really encourage you to find all the elements that make you crazy about a story and put them together. And whether it's accidental like mine, or you do it consciously like maybe you should, write the story that you want to exist in the world, the most amazing story to you that you would obsess over again and again. And this is actually the story that I'm going to publish this year. This is that first story that encompassed everything that I love about romance, is going to be published soon, and this is my self-publishing journey on this channel that I'm sharing with you guys. And I cannot wait to have it in my hands and share it with people. And sure, it's not perfect, no story is, but I mean, it's my first. Like, I don't think people will expect something genius level, or I don't want awards for it. I just want the story to exist out there in the world and to be able to hold it in my hands. I want these characters to have life outside of my head in my computer. I want them to see the light. I want people to know about them, people to read their story and maybe even be inspired. I don't know, or angry, whatever emotion. I want there to be emotion in people when they read my stories. That's what I want. That's what I've always wanted. I am a very emotional, empathetic person, and everything I do is done with emotion. Even when I talk, obviously, I'm not like a robot. I'm a very expressive person, and you can tell that about me. And I hope that you're gonna like my story when it comes out, or not, whatever. But I hope this kind of helps you think about all the things that you love in stories and how you can maybe put them together to create your ultimate story. And obviously there's going to be a lot of stories after that ultimate story, like in my case, so don't worry, it's not going to be like your only story. I promise, once you get the hang of it, you produce a lot more like that. So it's not like you're never gonna write again, or you're never gonna have good ideas again. I mean, I should shoot a whole other video about ideas. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but like my head is like this fountain of ideas, and like they keep coming out, and they're too many and they're too fast. And sometimes I manage to write like a chapter and then I'm on to the next idea, you know, and that's not really good. And sometimes I manage to stick to the story and I finish it and it's my favorite thing ever, and that's the story that I want to publish for the first time. My favorite story in the world. I can't wait. Oh God, somebody stop me because I'm going to start gushing again. Thank you for watching this rambly video and following my self-publishing journey. And let me know in the comments, what is your favorite story to read and to write? What are the elements that make you crazy about romance, about the genre that you read? What is the thing that ignites you when you read it or when you write it? Let me know in the comments, really, I want to hear about it. And yeah, I'm gonna see you in the next video or in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.